My ex-husband's new wife demanded I give up Mother's Day because she's their real mom now. So, my ex Mark and I divorced 4 years ago when our twins were 6. Despite everything, we kept things civil for the kids. He remarried 2 years later to Jessica. And honestly, she was incredible with my children at first. Jessica was everything I could hope for in a stepmother. She taught my 10-year-old Sophie guitar, took Connor to baseball practice when Mark couldn't make it, helped with science projects. The kids absolutely adored her and came home raving about their time with Jessica. I'll admit, I was sometimes jealous watching how easily they bonded with her, but Jessica always respected boundaries. She never tried to replace me, sent me pictures from their outings, made sure the kids called when they missed me. I actually considered her a friend. We'd text about the kids, coordinate schedules, even plan joint birthday parties. Everything changed 3 months ago when Jessica announced her pregnancy. At first, everyone was excited. The twins were thrilled about getting a baby sibling, and I was genuinely happy for her and Mark. But almost immediately after the announcement, Jessica's entire demeanor toward my children shifted dramatically. She became obsessed with this idea that all the kids needed to see her as their real mom now that she was having her own biological child. She started making weird comments about being one big family and how the twins needed to understand she was their mom, too, not just the baby's mom. Jessica began correcting my kids when they mentioned me. If Sophie said, "My mom took me shopping," Jessica would interrupt with, "I'm your mom now too. You know, we're all your family here." She insisted they call her mom Jess instead of Jessica, which made both kids uncomfortable. The twins started coming home upset and confused. Sophie asked me, "Why does Jessica keep saying she's my mom? I already have a mom. Can someone have 2 moms?" I tried to handle it delicately, but called Mark to discuss what was happening, but he brushed it off, saying it would calm down after the baby was born. Instead of calming down, Jessica escalated. She bought them clothes and told them not to wear outfits I'd bought to school because Mom Jess picked better clothes. The final straw came 2 weeks ago when Jessica held what she called a family meeting. She told the twins that once her baby was born, they'd all be real siblings and they should start thinking of me as more like an aunt since they'd be living with their actual family most of the time. She actually said the new baby would make their family complete and that they needed to show loyalty to their real home. Sophie came home crying hysterically, asking if Jessica's baby would be more important than her and Connor. Connor was quiet for days, asking if he'd have to live with Dad forever. I was furious but tried to stay calm. I had another conversation with Mark, this time much more direct. I told him Jessica's behavior was confusing and hurting the children, and she needed to back off. He got defensive, saying I was being dramatic, and Jessica just wanted to feel included. Yesterday, everything exploded. Jessica called me crying and screaming. The twins had told her they didn't want to celebrate Mother's Day with her because she was being mean about our real mom. Sophie had said Jessica used to be fun, but now was acting scary and weird. Jessica sobbed that she'd done everything for those kids, loved them like her own, and they were being ungrateful. She said she'd earned the right to be honored as their mother, and I needed to fix it immediately. Then she crossed the line. She said I should be grateful someone finally wanted to be a real mother to my children, and that I was selfish for not encouraging them to accept her as mom. She demanded I call Sophie and Connor right then and tell them Jessica deserved Mother's Day celebration just as much as I did. I told her she was insane and destroying her relationship with my children. She went silent for a long moment, then whispered that I'd pushed her to this. Before I could ask what she meant, I heard Sophie screaming in the background. Jessica had driven to Mark's house during his work hours and let herself in with her key, knowing the twins were being watched by Mark's mother. I could hear my daughter yelling for her grandmother, hear furniture scraping, hear Jessica saying something about packing the kids' bags because they were staying permanently now. Then the line went dead, and when I tried calling back, no one answered. I felt my hands shaking as I kept hitting redial. Nothing. My mind was racing through every horrible scenario. I grabbed my keys and ran to my car, not even bothering to lock my front door behind me. Mark's house was 20 minutes away, but I made it in 12, running 2 red lights and definitely going way over the speed limit. When I pulled up, Mark's mom's car was still in the driveway. Jessica's silver sedan was parked at an angle, like she'd been in a hurry. The front door was locked. I pounded on it, screaming for someone to open up. "Sophie! Connor! Open the door!" My voice was breaking. I could hear muffled sounds inside, but no one came. I started calling Mark's mom's cell phone, then Mark, then back to Jessica. No one was picking up. I was about to call the police when I heard Connor's voice, small and scared, from somewhere inside. "Mom? Connor! Baby, open the door!" I yelled. "We can't," he said, and I could tell he was crying. Jessica locked us in the bedroom with her. Grandma's outside the door, but Jessica won't let us out. My blood went cold. I could hear Mark's elderly mother on the other side of the door now, her voice high and panicked. "Jessica, please. You're scaring the children. Let them out and we can talk about this. They need to understand." Jessica's voice came through, shrill and desperate. "I'm their mother. I've been their mother. They need to accept it before my baby comes." I started filming on my phone, capturing everything. Then I called Mark again, and this time he picked up. "Mark, you need to get home right now. Jessica has locked herself in your kid's bedroom with Sophie and Connor and she won't let them out." "What? That's ridiculous. She wouldn't." "I'm outside your house right now and your mother is trying to get her to open the door. Get here. Now." I could hear him grabbing his keys. "I'm leaving work. Just calm down, okay? Don't make it worse." "Don't make it worse?" "Mark, she's holding our children hostage in a bedroom." He hung up on me. I wanted to scream. Instead, I kept recording, making sure I captured every word coming from inside that room. "Please, Jessica," I heard Mark's mom say again. "You're a good person. This isn't you. Just open the door. You don't understand, Jessica screamed. None of you understand. I've done everything for these kids. Everything. And they still won't call me mom. They still talk about her like she's so perfect. Sophie's voice cut through, wobbly with tears. Because she is our mom. You're Jessica. You used to be nice, Jessica, but now you're scary. There was a crash, like something being thrown. Connor screamed. I lost it. I started slamming my shoulder against the front door, not caring if I broke it or my shoulder in the process. Mark's mom heard me and rushed to unlock it. Her face was pale, hands trembling. She just showed up, she whispered. She seemed normal at first. Asked if the kids wanted to pack some things to bring to their house. But then she started talking about how they'd be staying there permanently. And when I questioned it, she just grabbed them and locked the door. I've been trying to get her to come out for 20 minutes. I could hear Jessica still ranting through the door. You need to learn. You need to understand that this is your real family. When my baby comes, we'll all be a real family and you need to be ready. Let me try, I said to Mark's mom, keeping my voice steady even though I was shaking. I approached the bedroom door. Jessica, it's me. Let's talk about this. The kids are scared. They're scared because you've turned them against me, she shrieked back. You've poisoned them. You're jealous that they love me. Jessica, they do love you. Or they did. Before you started acting like this. You're destroying your relationship with them right now. Every second you keep that door locked, you're proving to them that you can't be trusted. Silence. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd gotten through. Then, I planned this. I've been planning this for weeks. They need an intervention. They need to bond with me before my baby comes, or else they'll never accept me as their real mom. My stomach dropped. She'd planned this. This wasn't some breakdown. This was calculated. I heard tires screeching outside. Mark's car. He burst through the front door, took in the scene, and immediately went to the bedroom. Jessica, open this door right now. Mark, finally. Tell your ex-wife to leave. This is a family matter. Jessica, what the hell is going on? I could hear her voice change, becoming softer, more manipulative. Baby, I was just trying to help the kids understand. They've been so distant lately, and I thought if we could just have some bonding time. Connor's voice interrupted. Dad, I can't breathe right. He was hyperventilating. I could hear it through the door. That rapid, panicked breathing that meant he was having a panic attack. Connor had suffered from anxiety since the divorce, and this was triggering everything. Connor, buddy, I need you to breathe slow for me, okay? Mark's voice was rising with panic now. Jessica, our son is having a panic attack. Open the door. He's fine. He's just being dramatic. Open the goddamn door. I'd never heard Mark yell like that. There was a clicking sound, and the door swung open. Sophie stumbled out first, her face red and streaked with tears. Connor was behind her, gasping for breath, his hands clenched into fists. Jessica stood in the doorway, mascara running down her face, one hand protectively over her stomach. I was just trying to make them understand, she said, her voice small now. I need them to see me as their mom. I need that before my baby comes. Mark pulled both kids to him, checking them over. Sophie buried her face in his chest, sobbing. Connor was still struggling to breathe, so I knelt down next to him. In through your nose, buddy. Out through your mouth. You're safe now. You're okay. It took 5 minutes for his breathing to regulate. 5 minutes where Jessica just stood there, watching, still acting like she was the victim in all this. Mark's mom had her arm around me, and I realized my phone was still recording. Everything. Jessica's words about planning this, her admission that this was an intervention, Connor's panic attack, all of it. I think you should leave, Jessica, Mark said, his voice deadly calm now. But Mark, I just wanted, now. She looked between all of us, her face crumpling. You're all against me. All of you. I'm trying to be a good mother and you're all against me. She grabbed her purse and left, slamming the door behind her. The house went quiet except for Sophie's muffled crying and Connor's uneven breathing. Mark's mom was the first to speak. There's something you need to know, she said quietly, looking at Mark. This isn't the first time. Mark's head snapped up. What? His mother took a shaky breath. Jessica has been telling the twins things, terrible things. She's been saying that their mother doesn't want them anymore, that she's too busy for them. That's why they have to stay here more often. I heard her last week when she thought I was asleep. What? I felt like I'd been punched. How long has this been going on? At least a month, maybe longer. I wanted to tell you, but she trailed off, and I saw something in her eyes. Fear. She threatened me. Said if I told anyone, she'd make sure I never saw any of my grandchildren again. Not the twins, and not the new baby. Sophie's voice was small. Mom, there's more. She went to her backpack and pulled out a phone. Not her regular phone, a cheap-looking burner. Jessica gave me this 2 weeks ago. She said you were trying to contact me because you needed to tell me something important, but you didn't want Dad to know. My hands were shaking as I took the phone. There were text messages, dozens of them, all supposedly from me. I don't love you as much since your dad and I split up. You and Connor are so exhausting. I'm glad I get breaks when you're at your dad's. Sometimes I wish I never had kids. You're becoming just like your father, and I hate it. Message after message, each one more cruel than the last. And Sophie had been reading these, believing they were from me. Baby, I never sent these. I would never. I know, Sophie whispered. I figured it out last week. The way the messages were written didn't sound like you, and there were spelling mistakes you'd never make. But for a while, I thought. She broke down crying again. Connor was looking at his hands. She gave me one too, he admitted. Mine said you wanted Dad back, and that we were the reason you couldn't get back together. I pulled both of them to me, holding them while they cried. Over their heads, I looked at Mark, who looked like someone had punched him in the gut. You need to get her out of this house, I said. Tonight, today. Right now, he nodded, already pulling out his phone. Mom, can you stay with the kids? I need to deal with this. What Mark dealt with was kicking Jessica out that same evening. She screamed and cried and swore she was being misunderstood, that everything she did was out of love, but he didn't back down. She was out within 2 hours, staying at her parents' house across town. I thought that would be the end of it. God, I was so wrong. 3 days later, my phone started blowing up. Friends, family members, even people I barely knew, all sending me the same Facebook posts. Jessica had created this whole campaign, photos and videos of Sophie and Connor, claiming I was an unfit mother who had abandoned them. She'd edited photos to make it look like the kids were dirty and uncared for at my house, videos that cut off context to make me look neglectful. One video showed Connor crying, with a caption about how I'd yelled at him for hours over a bad grade. What the video didn't show was that Connor had been watching a sad movie and I wasn't even in the room. Concerned friends and family, please help me protect these babies from their biological mother, who seems to care more about her freedom than her children. The post had hundreds of shares. People were commenting, calling me horrible names, saying someone should call CPS. My own aunt commented asking if it was true. I was losing my mind trying to explain to everyone that it was fake, that Jessica was lying, but the damage was spreading faster than I could control. Then my email dinged. A long message from a client I'd been working with for 6 months on a major freelance project. They'd seen the posts. They were concerned about my home situation and its impact on my work quality. They were terminating our contract, effective immediately. That project was supposed to pay my rent for 3 months. I called Mark, crying angry tears. You need to make her stop. She's destroying my life. I've tried talking to her. She won't answer my calls. Her parents say she's going through something and needs space. She needs to delete those posts, Mark. I just lost a major client because of her lies. I'll try again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But Jessica didn't delete anything. If anything, she got worse. My friends started receiving emails, anonymous, but obviously from Jessica. They contained evidence of my terrible parenting. Screenshots of text messages I'd never sent, saying horrible things about Sophie and Connor, report cards that had been doctored to show failing grades, medical records from when Connor broke his arm 2 years ago, pulled from Mark's insurance portal, with notes implying I'd been negligent. One of my closest friends, Linda, called me in tears. I know these are fake, she said, but they look so real. She even copied your texting style. How is she doing this? I didn't know, but I was terrified. Jessica had access to things she shouldn't have had access to. Personal things, private things. I contacted a lawyer, showed them everything. They said I could pursue a harassment case, but it would take time and money I didn't have. Then came the worst day. I went to pick up the twins from school, same as always, Tuesday afternoon at 3:15. I was waiting in the pickup line when I saw Jessica's car pull into the parking lot. She wasn't supposed to be there. It wasn't her day. I watched her get out and march toward the school entrance. Something in my gut told me this was bad. I parked and ran after her, but she was already inside, heading toward Sophie and Connor's classrooms. The halls were full of kids getting ready for dismissal. I caught up to her just as she reached Sophie's classroom. Sophie saw me first, and her face lit up, then fell when she saw Jessica behind me. Sophie, Connor, we're leaving, Jessica announced, loud enough that other parents turned to stare. Your mother doesn't want you anymore, so you're coming to live with me and your dad permanently. What? Sophie's teacher, Mrs. Patterson, stepped forward. Ma'am, I'm going to need to see some documentation if you're attempting to pick up these students. I'm their stepmother and I have every right. You don't. I cut in. You have no legal rights to my children. Jessica whirled on me. I've been more of a mother to them than you ever were. I actually care about them. Connor had appeared from his classroom, and he looked terrified. Kids were staring now. Teachers too. Sophie had her tablet out. I realized. Recording everything. Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, Mrs. Patterson said firmly. You're not on the approved pickup list. This is ridiculous. Jessica's voice was getting shrill. These are my kids. I've raised them for 2 years. I've been there for every practice, every recital, every nightmare. Where were you? She jabbed a finger at me. Out with your friends, living your best life while I actually parented your children. You need to leave now, or I'm calling security, Mrs. Patterson said. Call them. Call whoever you want. Everyone needs to know what kind of mother leaves her kids with strangers. What kind of woman doesn't even fight for her own children? Mom, I want to go home with you, Sophie said, her voice small but steady. Please. Jessica's face twisted into something ugly. You don't know what you want. You're 10 years old. I know what's best for you. Security arrived then. 2 officers who worked for the school. They were gentle but firm, asking Jessica to come with them. She started sobbing, making a scene, saying they didn't understand. She was just trying to protect the children from an unfit mother. Sophie kept her tablet trained on everything. Connor had wrapped his arms around my waist and wouldn't let go. The whole thing lasted maybe 10 minutes, but it felt like hours. Jessica was escorted from the building, still screaming about her rights, about how Mark would be hearing from her lawyer, about how I'd poisoned his children against their real family. Mrs. Patterson pulled me aside afterward. I'm documenting all of this, she said, and I'd suggest you do the same. That woman is not well. Sophie showed me the video she'd taken that night. It was clear, stable footage. Jessica's face, twisted with rage. Her words, accusing me of abandonment. Her refusal to leave. All of it. Good thinking, baby, I told her, hugging her close. I'm so proud of you. I was scared, she admitted, but I knew we'd need proof. I've been watching those crime shows with Grandma. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Jessica's words. You've pushed me to this. Like I was somehow responsible for her unraveling. I pulled out my laptop and started digging. I looked up Jessica's maiden name, her old social media, anything I could find. And that's when I found something interesting. Her pregnancy announcement. She'd posted it 3 months ago with great fanfare. But when I looked closer at the sonogram photo she'd shared, the date showed she was 12 weeks along, not 6 weeks like she'd told Mark and everyone else. She was already pregnant when she'd started her campaign against me. This whole thing, the obsession with replacing me, the manipulation of the twins, the fake texts, it had all been calculated from the start. I called Mark immediately, even though it was past midnight. What? His voice was thick with sleep. Jessica was already pregnant before she started acting crazy. She's 12 weeks along, not 6. Silence. Then, how do you know that? The sonogram she posted has a date on it. Mark, she planned all of this. She's been planning to erase me from the twins' lives since before she even told you about the baby. More silence. I could practically hear him thinking. I need to talk to her, he finally said. Talk to her? Mark, I need to hear it from her. I'll call you back. He did call back, 2 hours later. I hadn't gone back to sleep. You were right, he said, and his voice sounded hollow. I confronted her about the timeline. At first she tried to deny it, but then she just broke down. Said she's been terrified since the beginning. Terrified that I still loved you. That Sophie and Connor would always see her as second place. That our baby would be less important than the twins. She said she needed to become their real mom before the baby came so her child wouldn't grow up feeling like an outsider in our family. That's insane. Mark, I know. I told her she's destroyed any chance of having a relationship with Sophie and Connor. They don't want to see her. They're afraid of her. His voice cracked. She did this to herself. I can't be with someone who would hurt my kids like this. What are you going to do? I don't know. I don't know. But I did know. I started compiling everything. Every recording, every screenshot, every piece of evidence I had. The fake text messages from the burner phones. The school incident footage from Sophie's tablet. Jessica's admission that she'd planned the bedroom lockdown. The timeline showing she'd been pregnant and lying for months. The social media posts she'd made. The emails my friends had received. I put it all together in a presentation file, organized and timestamped. Then I did something I'd been avoiding. I called Jessica's mother. Mrs. Kim, this is Mark's ex-wife. I know this is strange, but I need to talk to you about Jessica. There was a long pause. What's she done now? Now, that word caught me. You know about her patterns, I said carefully. Another pause, longer this time. What exactly has she told you? Nothing, but I need to know if this has happened before. And then Jessica's mother told me everything. About Jessica's previous boyfriend, about how she'd become obsessed with his 6-year-old daughter from a previous relationship, how she'd tried to push the biological mother out of the picture, how she'd made up stories about the mother being neglectful, started calling herself mama to the little girl, had complete meltdowns when the child refused to accept her. It destroyed their relationship, Mrs. Kim said quietly. Jessica couldn't understand why he chose his daughter over her. She felt like she'd done everything right, but the child just wouldn't bond with her the way she wanted. When they broke up, Jessica fell apart for months. I thought she'd learned from it. I thought with Mark it would be different, because she'd have her own child too. Did you tell Mark about this? No, I should have. I thought she'd changed, and I was ashamed of what had happened before. I need you to document it, I said. I need emails, texts, anything. From that time, can you do that? Why? Because I'm putting together everything to show Mark's family and our mutual friends exactly who Jessica is. And I need them to understand this is a pattern, not a one-time breakdown, she agreed. 2 days later, I had copies of old emails and text messages from 4 years ago, showing Jessica's obsessive behavior with her ex's daughter. The parallels were chilling. Even some of the phrases were the same. I arranged a meeting at a community center conference room, neutral territory. I invited Mark's mother, his 2 sisters, our mutual friends who had been caught in the middle of Jessica's smear campaign, and Jessica's parents. Jessica wasn't invited, but Mark was. He needed to hear all of this. When everyone arrived, I could see the confusion on their faces. Mark looked exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. Thank you all for coming, I started. I know this seems dramatic, but I need you all to see what's been happening. Really see it, all in one place. I started the presentation. First, the recordings from the bedroom incident, watching Jessica's own mother flinch as she heard her daughter's unhinged words. Then the fake text messages to Sophie and Connor. Mark's sisters gasped when they saw what the kids had been receiving. Then the social media posts, the edited photos and videos, the emails to my friends with fabricated evidence, the school incident footage, watching Jessica melt down in front of dozens of children and teachers. She planned all of this, I said, showing the timeline. She was already pregnant when she started the campaign. This wasn't a breakdown. This was calculated. Mark's mother was crying. One of his sisters had her hand over her mouth. Then I pulled up the evidence from Jessica's previous relationship. Her own mother sat there, silent, as I showed the patterns, the identical manipulation tactics, the same obsessive need to erase the biological mother. This is who she is, I said quietly. And I need you all to know this isn't about me being vindictive or trying to destroy her. This is about protecting Sophie and Connor from someone who has hurt them deeply and will continue to hurt them if given the chance. Jessica's mother stood up. I'm sorry, she said, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry. I should have warned you, Mark. I should have told you about what happened before. I thought she'd changed. I thought having her own baby would fix whatever was broken in her. One of Mark's sisters spoke up. How did you manipulate their grandmother? She asked, looking at the evidence. Mom, what did she threaten you with? Mark's mother explained everything. How Jessica had told her that if she spoke up, she'd never see any of her grandchildren again. How she'd been terrified of losing access to Sophie and Connor and terrified of never meeting the new baby. She used me, Mark's mother whispered. She knew I'd do anything to stay in the kids' lives, and she used that against me. Mark hadn't said a word through the entire presentation. When I finished, he just sat there, staring at the screen. Then Jessica burst in. Someone must have told her. Maybe she'd followed Mark. I don't know. But she stormed into that conference room, her face red and blotchy from crying. How dare you? She screamed at me. How dare you turn everyone against me? I loved those kids. I gave them everything. You gave them trauma, I said calmly. You gave them fake text messages saying their mother didn't love them. You locked them in a bedroom. You tried to kidnap them from school. I was trying to help them. I was trying to be a good mother. You were trying to erase me, I said, because you couldn't handle being second to anything in Mark's life. His kids from his previous marriage were a threat to you, so you tried to eliminate that threat by making them forget I existed. She tried to interrupt, but I kept going. You created an entire campaign of lies to destroy my reputation. You cost me a major client and almost destroyed relationships with people I've known for years. You terrorized 2 children because you were insecure about your place in their father's life. I just wanted them to love me, she sobbed. I just wanted to be enough. They did love you. Mark's voice cut through, cold and flat. They loved you before you started all of this. Sophie called you her bonus mom. Connor told me once that he was lucky to have 2 moms who cared about him. But you couldn't just let that be enough. Mark, please. No. He stood up. I've heard enough. I've seen enough. You manipulated my mother with threats. You emotionally abused my children. You tried to destroy my ex-wife's life. And you lied to me about the pregnancy timeline. I was scared. So you hurt kids? You hurt my kids? The twins you claim to love so much? His voice was rising now. You know what Sophie told me last night? She said she has nightmares about you coming back and taking her away. Connor won't sleep unless his door is locked. They're terrified of you, Jessica. She broke down completely then, admitting through her sobs that she'd wanted to erase me from the twins' lives before her baby was born. She said she couldn't handle Mark having this whole life before her, this family that she wasn't part of from the beginning. She wanted her child to be Mark's first real family. She wanted to be the only mother the twins knew, so her baby wouldn't be an outsider. I wanted them to forget about her, she whispered, pointing at me. I wanted them to think of me as their only mom. Then when my baby came, we'd all be equal. We'd all be a real family. The room was silent except for her crying. You need professional help, Mark finally said. Serious, intensive help, and you need to stay away from Sophie and Connor. But the baby, I'll figure out custody when the time comes, with supervised visitation, through lawyers. Mark, please, I'm pregnant with your child. I know. And I'll be a father to that child. But I'm done being your husband. I can't trust you. I can't have you around my kids. I'm filing for annulment based on the fraud about the pregnancy timeline and your mental state. Jessica's father spoke up for the first time. We'll take her home. We'll get her the help she needs. Mark, I'm truly sorry for what she's put your family through. They left. Jessica still sobbing, her mother supporting her. The room slowly emptied. Mark's family hugged Sophie and Connor, who had been waiting in another room with a friend of mine. My friends apologized for believing even part of Jessica's smear campaign. I thought we were done. I really thought the nightmare was over. But Jessica had one more move. 2 days later, Sophie came running into my room, phone in hand. Mom, look! Jessica had posted on social media again, but this time it was worse. She'd shared photos of Sophie and Connor with their full names, our address, Mark's address, the name of their school. She'd written a long post about how we'd all driven her to the breaking point and how she'd lost everything because of these ungrateful children. The post was a call to action. She wanted her followers to help her get justice. She wanted people to call the school, call CPS, call anyone who would listen and report me as an unfit mother. My phone started ringing immediately. The school, asking why their office was being flooded with calls about my children being neglected. CPS, saying they'd received multiple reports and needed to do a home visit. My landlord, because someone had called claiming I was running an illegal business out of my apartment. She's trying to ruin everything, I said to Mark on the phone, my hands shaking. She's going nuclear. I'm calling my lawyer right now. This crosses every line. But Sophie and Connor had their own idea. They created a video together. Sophie set up her tablet, and both of them sat in front of it, looking directly at the camera. Hi, I'm Sophie, and this is my brother Connor, Sophie started, her voice steady. A lot of people are sharing posts about us and our mom, and we wanted to tell you the truth. They proceeded to explain everything, calmly, clearly, showing the burner phones Jessica had given them, reading some of the fake texts out loud, explaining how Jessica had locked them in a bedroom, how she'd tried to take them from school, how she'd been trying to make them forget about their real mother. Our mom is the best mom in the world, Connor said, and my eyes filled with tears watching the video. She works really hard to take care of us. She always comes to our games and concerts. She makes us breakfast every morning before school. She's not perfect, but she's our mom and we love her. Jessica used to be nice, Sophie added. She used to be fun, but then she started getting mean and scary. She tried to make us hate our mom. She told us lies, She heard us. We're posting this video because we want people to know the truth, Connor finished. Please stop calling our school. Please stop bothering our mom. Please just leave us alone and let us be a family. They posted it to a social media account they created just for this. Within an hour, it had been viewed thousands of times. By the end of the day, it had gone viral. People were flooding the comments with support for Sophie and Connor, criticizing Jessica, sharing the video with hashtags about child protection and parental alienation. Several news outlets reached out wanting to cover the story. Jessica's social media accounts were suspended within 24 hours. All of them. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything. Her posts were removed for violating policies about sharing minors' information and harassment. The calls to my landlord and the school stopped. CPS came for their required visit, took one look at my clean, organized home, talked to Sophie and Connor, who clearly were healthy and happy, and closed the case the same day. Mark's lawyer moved fast. Within a week, Jessica was served with a restraining order. She couldn't come within 500 feet of me, Sophie, Connor, or their school. Mark filed for annulment, citing fraud about the pregnancy timeline and her demonstrated mental instability. Jessica moved back to her parents' house in another state. Her mother called to apologize again, saying Jessica was entering therapy and had agreed to take medication for what her doctor suspected was a severe case of prenatal psychosis combined with deep-seated attachment and abandonment issues. Mark signed official documents removing any step-parent privileges Jessica might have had. When the baby was born, if Jessica wanted any custody or visitation, it would be supervised only, with Mark's mother present. The twins were clear that they wanted nothing to do with her, even after the baby arrived, and Mark supported that decision. Last week, I watched from my living room window as Jessica's car pulled up to Mark's house one last time. She was there to pick up the last of her things while Mark was at work. His mother supervised, making sure Jessica didn't take anything that wasn't hers. It took her 20 minutes to load her car with boxes. I watched her pause at the end of the driveway, looking back at the house. Mark's mother stood in the doorway, arms crossed, making sure she actually left. From Mark's backyard, I could hear Sophie and Connor playing. Their laughter drifted across the fence, clear and happy. They were free now, free from the manipulation, the fear, the constant anxiety of wondering what Jessica would do next. Jessica's car finally pulled away. She didn't look back again. She just drove down the street and disappeared around the corner. Mark's mother walked over to my house. "It's done," she said simply. "She's gone." I nodded, watching Sophie and Connor through the fence. They were playing some game that involved a lot of running and shouting, just being normal kids again. "They're going to be okay," Mark's mother said. "Thanks to you. Thanks to protecting them." Make sure to click on the screen to watch another story.